first NCAA tournament appearance ever. The Stetson Hatters, coached by none other than Donnie Jones, who we welcome to the show right now. And one of the best turnarounds we've seen in a long time, Donnie. You took over this program. It was kind of a dead program. You've obviously got deep Florida roots with being on the staff that won back-to-back national titles at Florida. You beat Austin Peay in the tournament title game, the A-Sun. What's it been like? You've now had 3 or 4 days to kind of enjoy yourself. What is life like after you punch your ticket as early as you do and you have a chance to kind of breathe and enjoy yourself and return all those congratulatory text messages?
Yeah, well, Jeff, it's been a buzz, to say the least. Obviously, how many times do you have a few days before you walk in and have to play an NCAA tournament? So we've had a whole week here we got before we walk in and figure out who we're playing. Usually it's Sunday you play and Tuesday you're on a plane. So, but it's been great for our campus, a lot of energy. Obviously, this community is a 40,000 people community here at DeLand, and these people are ecstatic. It's the first time, the men's program's ever been in 53 years to an NCAA tournament.
Donnie, when did you know that you had a shot with this team? Because end of that season, teams can go either way. They can start planning for spring break, or they give a coach a feeling. Did you have that feeling? And at what point in time did you think we still got a shot to win this tournament?
You know what, Doug? This group's been resilient all year. Obviously the last game of the season, 2 weeks prior to that, we lost a really key player, Josh Smith, to an ACL injury, and we had to kind of regroup ourselves again. And with that, we went into those last couple of weeks and we lost, 2 of our last 4 games. But this group has been really resilient. We got great senior leadership. Got 4 guys that came in here and started the year after I got here, and those kids just to hear those guys and see those guys, and when you're in your huddles and guys are the ones doing the talking about believing in what's happening, I just really thought we had a shot every night that we played in this tournament with this group.
I want to point out, Jeff, a major miss in NIL from the Stetson Hat Company. How have they not prepared for that championship moment and had a big Stetson on top of your hat? How can you possibly coach at Stetson without a Stetson hat? We need to get Donnie some NIL for Stetson, and that whole entire program can change on this very moment. I'll be your marketing director. This is an easy sale. I can get that one done.
I love that, Doug. I'm all in. John B. Stetson. That's who we're named after. The hat maker right here. He used to vacation down here in New Smyrna Beach. So we named the school after him. And so that would be huge. We'd love some hats.
Hey, Donnie, Jalen Blackman turned in one of the best performances that I've seen in a title game performance, 43 points. Kind of willed you guys to a win there, made some huge shots throughout the game and down the stretch. Give me kind of his story and how you got him, because he started his career at Grand Canyon. It wasn't like there was like a major hook to get him to DeLand. How did you get him there, and where does that performance rank? You've coached a lot of great players at Florida, again, being on those 2 national title teams.
Yeah, well, Jalen Blackman, obviously, 4-star player coming out of high school. No secret is talent. It's nothing to just kind of come to the scene. I think, Jalen obviously comes from a basketball family, Jeff. His dad, James Blackman, was a great player in Indiana, chose Kentucky, which at the time was a big deal, and had a great career there. Kentucky, played in the NBA. It's a basketball family. His other son, James Jr., went on, was a very good player, played for Tom Crean there at Indiana and had a great career. And so, they're a family that's grew up Marion, Indiana. It's heart of basketball country, a lot of success there. He went to Grand Canyon and obviously played for a great coach, Scott Drew. And, in this world of transfers and a lot of things coming in, he just, wasn't his time to get to play a lot as a freshman. And I think they were looking for a place. And, we had several Indiana kids on our team that they had mentioned him and shared our story with him. And his dad called me up, flew down, and met with me first personally. And then we just talked about where he'd fit and style of play, how we could develop him. It helped that I'd had 23 NBA players and 10 first-round draft picks. I think having that pro pedigree with some of the places I've been at really gave a huge impression on them, and they were looking for a fit. They wasn't caught up in the biggest school, NIL, none of that stuff. They were just looking for somewhere where they felt he could really develop and play his style play.
Yeah, obviously it worked out. All right.